Hello, everyone, and welcome back to your property journey, episode 10, part 2. Today, we are continuing on last week's episode of chatting to a transfer attorney with regard to the process. And for today, we are going to be chatting to Heidi.
Hi everybody.
She was kind enough to oblige me to ask a few questions about the actual groundwork that is done by her as a conveyancing paralegal at Gravensteins. So we're just going to ask her a few questions and hopefully it also clarifies some of the concerns or questions that you might have if you are in the process of selling or buying a property. Welcome, Heidi.
Hi, thank you, Colette.
Thank you so much for making the time. I really
Only
appreciate
pleasure.
it. Okay, so we'll get right into it.
Yes.
So just tell us a bit about your years of experience.
Okay, I started my training in conveyancing. That was in 2005. Yes, I was still job hunting and I got to a firm where I actually asked what is conveyancing, and what it entails. But yeah, I went for my training and I'm sitting, almost 20 years later.
Wow.
Yes.
That is some extensive years of experience.
Yeah, but you see with conveyancing, you learn every day, every day there's something new.
Yes.
So you can't really say you know everything.
For sure, but it also makes your 20 years doesn't seem as long as 20 years because you're constantly learning as
You're
things change.
constantly learning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, next question.
Okay.
Name the different kinds of fees that are involved in the actual transfer process.
Okay, so let me start when we get a transaction or a deal from an estate agent. We first need to do the deeds office searches to find out if there's a bond over the property that needs to be cancelled. So you're looking at the transfer fees, and then of course you're looking at the bond fees should the purchaser take out the bond.
Yeah.
And then of course if there's a bond to be cancelled, there will be bond cancellation fees as well.
Okay.
Yes.
And the fees that's applicable for the bond, that gets done by a different attorney's office?
Yes, correct. But should our firm attend to the transfer and the bond, so then we will charge the bond and the transfer fees. But should a different attorney firm attend to the bond, then of course they will charge. Yes,
okay, then you work with that attorney.
Yes, we link with that attorney.
Of course, it's more ideal if you have one attorney's office that deals with everything.
Yes, sometimes the clients are more comfortable
Yes.
dealing with one attorney because sometimes the clients are confused, whereas they would ask, a question that we get frequent, but we already paid our fees.
Yes.
We already paid our fees.
Oh, I already signed. Why am I signing
why
again?
must I sign again?
Yes.
Who are that attorneys?
Yes.
What must I go do there? Then, we try to explain to them what's happening.
Yeah.
And then when they realize, oh, okay, I applied for a bond, I need to also pay the bond cost as well. Yes.
Yeah, it's very daunting. Also as a first-time buyer.
Yeah, I know.
Because there's so much paperwork and payments and stuff that it can be very overwhelming.
So I always get the question, it's my first time, please explain to me. And I take them through the process, explain the process to them.
Yes.
And then they're more comfortable.
Correct.
With
the process.
And the whole process. Yes.
Yeah, I love that. Okay. So on average, how long can a transfer process take?
Well, the normal transfer process is 6 to 8 weeks. But there was times when it can go quicker, depending on how quick we get certain information from the parties, especially if there's a bond registered over the property. And then we need to get that information from the sellers. Request that cancellation from the bank. And that can at times also be a delay depending on which bank you request that cancellation from. And then of course getting the clients to come in and sign because we need to fit in with their schedule.
Yes.
Yeah, because sometimes clients would ask, are you open on a Saturday or
Yes.
things like that, because people don't really, or they sometimes don't have the time to come
For
in.
sure, I
Yeah.
think some companies are not as flexible as others to give
Yeah.
them time off or something, or maybe they're only doing night shift or whatever the case may be. So it can be difficult also, and that can also delay the process.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we also have the option to go out to clients.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yes, maybe in the comfort of the workspace,
Yes.
we make an appointment, because sometimes the clients will think it's only to sign in our office, but then we give them the option, we can come out to you.
Yeah.
To the
Of course, it's
clients.
based on the need.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
If it's really something that, both parties are struggling to set a date, so then that is actually great.
Yes.
Okay, cool. What documents do you request from the buyers and the sellers?
Okay, with the buyers and the sellers, we're very strict on getting the FICA documents and the correct FICA, of course. So it's basically the ID documents, the proof of address, and the proof of address needs to be, not older than 2 to 3 months.
Okay.
If not, then we need to get updated FICA from the clients.
Okay.
And then where the parties are married, we need to get a marriage certificate. And also depending on how they're married.
Yes.
If they're married in or out of the legal property, then we need to get the correct documentation from them.
Okay, that will make sense, because, say for instance, you are someone that is not married in community of property, or married in community of property, and you want to sell the property, and there's two people, owners of the property, but only the one want to sell. Maybe it's a divorce or something.
Yeah.
All of those things need to be confirmed before you can go and
we
do
can
anything.
proceed with anything. Yes, correct.
Okay, cool. What are the common delays or causes of delays for a transfer?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, sometimes the client's flexibility to sign the transfer documents, and then the municipality can sometimes, cause a delay. There can be a delay.
Okay, is that for the rates clearance certificate?
For the rates clearances, all ladies can tell you, we do, well, it's quite quick nowadays, but we don't know, it can change within a few days.
It all depends on who you're working with, I guess.
Oh, goodness, yeah. So that can cause a delay. And then sometimes the bond attorneys, they need to upload certain documentation. Then the bank's not happy with what they uploaded. Or sometimes the client, the document that they signed. So then they need to get the client, things like that.
It's a lot. So if you really look at it, like a week in itself doesn't seem like a long time. But when you're looking at a 6 to 8 week time frame for people to make arrangements to maybe giving their notice where they're renting.
Yeah, where they're renting. That can also cause a delay.
Exactly. Yes. Where sellers, they've now bought the other house, but that house also need to link up with the sale of their house.
Yes. Or the deposit is coming from the sale of their house.
Yes.
So it's a ripple effect.
Yes. So the ideal deal is to have a cash first time buyer.
Yes. Right? 100% bond.
Yes, or 100% bond. Yeah. So there's like that can go quick. But there are so many anomalies and things that could delay a process where instead of it taking 2 months, it can take up to 6 months even, or even longer, because I chatted to about late estate as well.
That is what I wanted to mention. Yes. Estates can also cause a delay, because when we submit the documents to the master's office, they can, send it back saying that certain documents are unclear, or certain heirs, haven't signed, things like that. And then the whole process starts again. So it's coming back. We need to resend it, and that can also take cause a delay. And with the master's office, we can't really say how long. There's no time frame. We will just inform the clients that it is at the master's office, and there might be delays.
Yeah. Okay. And so if it is a late estate, so like I explained in the previous episode, a late estate refers to when one or both of the owners of the property passes away. And it is ideal to get an executor before the house is sold.
Yes, that is to report the estate.
Yes.
So that's a different attorney firm.
Yeah.
That's attending to the reporting of the estate or winding up of that certain estate. Yes.
And then I would assume then that if it happens during the process where one of them pass away, there is a whole other.
Then we need to, stop the transaction, or not delay it, but it should be stopped because we can't proceed because of the deceased.
And then from that point of view, just based on your knowledge, on like how long does it take now to appoint an executor, get an attorney, all of those things, for the sale process to continue?
Okay, that can actually take some time because remember the client or the family now needs to appoint an attorney to attend to that estate. And like I also mentioned, there might be heirs that needs to sign, and not all people are available. They might even be overseas, and that's also a process on its own where they need to sign that side before an attorney and send the documents back to South Africa. From whichever country they
scan and email documents like it has to be.
It must be original signed.
Of an actual.
Correct.
Sure.
Yes. That also might cause delays where a seller or a purchaser is staying abroad. Then they also need to sign at the embassy or before notary.
Yes.
So that's also
Yes, I had a client like that last year. A seller, they moved to Australia or New Zealand, one of the two, and they moved over. They had to move, or they had to leave. So the house was still being sold. Once I had the final person to sign it, everything, they had to have the document signed over there and then have it. I think you remember. I think you guys were the attorneys. I'm pretty sure.
I think you had two clients.
The international one is also always the recent one. Yes, okay.
Also overseas.
Yes, that was also a bit of delay.
A bit of a delay, yes. And then also, sometimes the client's funds are invested.
Yes, like with him,
Yes.
Okay. More anomalies, yes. Okay. So, then my next question was, can you assist with bond registration and cancellation? And you said yes, you do sometimes deal with that. So I won't elaborate on that. And then in terms of bridging finance, can you just explain what that is and if you offer the services to clients?
Okay, the bridging finance is a company that we use should maybe a seller don't have the funds available to pay maybe rates or levies. Then we first need to ascertain if there's sufficient proceeds available before we can submit or even mention to them that they can apply for bridging finance. And so the bridging company is quite sufficient, very quick. But there's certain documentation that also needs to be signed for that application to be submitted.
So, just for clarity, bridging financing is just for when the sellers.
Yeah, correct.
Do you offer to buyers as well?
Yes, we do, but that depends on should the buyers get maybe a bond where they get the costs included as well. Then we would submit the bridging finance for the transfer duty payment. Yes.
Okay. So it's basically just a fine, like a loan, basically. So that you can, they can proceed with the process, get the funds from this company, and then for the sellers, for example, when the property is sold and the process is complete, whatever profit was made from the sale of the property, they then take this amount that was owed to them that you not took a loan out, and then the balance will then be paid to you. That's
Yeah,
correct.
and of course the amount that they borrowed will be paid back with interest.
Yes, there's a small bit of interest portion as
yeah.
well that needs to be paid. Okay,
Yes.
cool. And then the last question, how do you keep the clients updated of the entire process?
We've got this the system that we work on that send out weekly reports to the clients, which update them on the progress on their transactions. But I also get clients that call me, or to get an update.
Yes.
And we send an email.
Yes, it's an email and an SMS that you get.
Yes, I send them an email, SMS. If they want me to call them to provide progress on their transactions, we do that as well.
That's a lot of admin, eh?
Yeah, it can
I think
be,
like it's a lot.
We keep our clients happy.
Yes, I think it also just helps you if everyone's happy and understand what's going on. It helps you in the long run.
Yes,
yeah.
And we get clients that get good service and always come back.
100%. Yes.
Where they maybe sell their property again, then they want to make use of our services again.
And agencies that come back
Yes.
and submit their sales to Gravensteins. Yeah, definitely. So I think that is all. Is there anything you wanted to add, maybe?
Not really. What else can I say? We just try to keep our clients up to date through the whole process, because sometimes clients don't understand the process in the deeds office and how long it takes. So when a transaction is lodged, the client get another email and SMS also explaining the process, because client always want the process because they need to make certain plans, and then we need to make them aware of certain delays at the deeds office.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I hope everyone enjoyed this session. I hope you did too.
I did. I was a bit nervous, so bad. But yes, I did.
I am so happy. So that's it for today, you guys. A nice, quick, short video. I hope the information that you have gained is going to help you, whether you are looking to be a future buyer or future seller. And even if you don't list with Jawitz Properties, Kells River, you know if you're wanting a very good service from attorneys, Gravensteins is the one.
Incorporated.
And as always, you guys know you gotta share this video. Please subscribe to my channel and share it on whatever platforms and reach out to me if you have any questions. And that's it for today's show.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
See you next time. Bye.